Okay, so we're going into the lightning round of Q&A on your health practices, Dr. Marvin. What is your favorite healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Well, breakfast, I actually do intermittent fasting, so I really don't have much of a breakfast. So that's that. I will have black coffee though, so that's maybe how I start the day. Lunch, big salad, usually, traditionally. My wife is a really good cook, so she helps me out with that. So I'll have a big salad with a lot of different greens and vegetables and stuff in there, and using olive oil and balsamic as a primary dressing for that. And dinner may often be several vegetables and maybe a little bit of some meat as part of the dish. But that's usually how we go. Sometimes there may be a little salad at dinner as well. Nothing too complicated, but definitely try to get a good spread of vegetables. And if I do have a dessert or anything like that, it might be a bowl of berries. I like to put some sprinkled cinnamon on top, and sometimes I might put some pecans or walnuts on top of that. So that way you kind of have the feeling of having something sweet, but it's not like a candy bar or something.
Right. That sounds perfect. Okay, so where is your favorite place to buy groceries and why?
Well, I think I've been in a grocery store in 8 months, tell you the truth, but because of the pandemic. But
Mm,
we order a lot from Whole Foods, just because they're a big grocer here with us, and they have higher quality, organic uh, produce and things like that. So that's primarily where we go. We're in San Diego. We have a few others that are local grocers that also have organic groceries. But I guess the parting line is that we primarily are pretty organic family, so we try to source from those places.
yeah, organic makes a difference. Cool. Okay, and what and when is your favorite type of exercise and why?
What and when? So I am not a morning person for exercise. I am a morning person for like doing stuff. Like I could write my books or chapters or have meetings and stuff like that. But for some reason, I just can't get it done for exercise in the morning. So I'm more of an evening person on that. I don't really care when people exercise as long as they're exercising. People might have different theories on that, but I think the goal at the end of the day is to do something. So and for me, I do a lot of bicycling, so I do a lot of
Mm,
biking. We have a few bikes here at home, and outside of that, I may go, take a long walk with the kids and things like that. I personally had a surgery on my left knee, so a few
mm,
years back, and for a torn meniscus, and since
ooh,
then, I used to run, but I can't really do that as much anymore because it hurts too much.
mm. But getting outside and doing that biking and taking a walk with kids, that's so joyful. And then you get that microbiome of like different environmental, I don't know
Yeah,
what you
you
call it.
can lift weights too. So I do. We have some weights and stuff, so we do some weightlifting and things like that. So you get a little bit of cardio and muscle building stuff.
Okay, cool. How many hours of sleep do you need and how many do you actually get?
Me personally,
Yes, you.
need is a different thing than should.
Right, exactly.
Because as a doctor, I have been trained to operate on no sleep for a couple days in a row. Even I mean, in residency training, not that that's healthy; it's actually very unhealthy.
Mm.
But I could probably survive not sleeping for a day and a half or 2 days. But
Whoa.
I haven't done that since I was in residency when I was forced to do that. But I could probably survive on 4.5 hours of sleep, but I rarely do that because it's very, very bad for you. I think I feel better when I have 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's a sweet spot for me. So I make it a point to try to do that every day.
Mm, hmm. Yeah, everyone is different. So that's great that you try to do that. Do you have, and I'm sure you do, a meditative or calming practice? What is that?
Yeah, I do a lot of breath work, 4-7-8 breath, really to kind of get you started, and then I'm one who really likes listening to guided meditation. Some people hate it with
Mm.
the they feel like it's noise in the background, but
Mm.
I like it. So I have my favorites, and I may start by doing some breath work on my own, and then have it start playing, and I listen to that, and I may sit for 20, 25 minutes or so, and kind of go from there. I like doing that in the morning. Sometimes I may do it in the evening as well, but I find it's a nice, fresh way to start the day.
Is there a particular app that you use?
Well, there's a particular couple people that I like Deepak Chopra. There's one CD that I really like of his. Shauna Shapiro is one of my very favorite mindfulness teachers. Has actually become a friend of mine lately, and so I told her that when I last talked to her that I have your meditations on my desktop on my computer,
Wow.
so it's my kind of go-to. Have them saved on my phone too. And Dan Siegel is another. I mentioned him earlier. I like his meditations as well. So, between those, it's good to do a variety sometimes. Just change it up a little bit. So, I may go through some of those.
Okay, I'm going to check those out. Sounds great. I always love to know those golden nuggets of information. Okay, so if you have a guilty pleasure when it comes to food or anything, what is it and how much do you allow yourself to indulge?
These days, I have a new guilty pleasure, which you're trying not to do too much of. But we found these really awesome organic, like candy, but at least food, not necessarily a junk food, but that's my recent guilty pleasure. But outside of that, I think chocolate is my guilty pleasure.
Mm,
I'm a chocolate guy. I mean, I don't know what to
same.
say, but there used to be a day though, maybe 10 years ago, where I could easily put down a Hershey's bar in 5 seconds and not think twice about it. I don't do that anymore.
Mm,
Now, if I want to enjoy chocolate, we get an organic dark chocolate, and I might have a few pieces of that. Or sometimes might I mentioned the bowl of berries that I might have. If I feel like something a little bit sweeter, we may crush it up and have it, instead of the cinnamon, kind of
mm,
sprinkle that dark chocolate. So it's kind of like a little bit of a chocolatey treat. But the point is, it's okay to do these things. We're human. I always say that if it's your birthday, have the cake. I eat cake on my birthday. Not gonna lie about it, or make up some story. You should eat cake on your birthday too, because it's your birthday, right?
right.
So, I mean, just don't eat cake every day. That's
Mm,
the point, right?
mm-hmm,
You want to have a piece of cake on your birthday or your family member's birthday, that's fine. If you eat cake every day, then you have a problem. But if you
mm-hmm,
do the best that you can most of the time, that's fine. I mean, as long as you don't have an allergy or some sensitivity to something, you should definitely try to avoid those, because you don't want to make yourself have a problem. But
right.
it's okay, because part of being human and being healthy and being happy is enjoying life. So I'm a firm
Mm-hmm,
believer in that.
mm-hmm. I find that being mindful when you are taking in that perfect piece of chocolate and really like savoring it,
Hmm.
it makes the experience more joyful, and it's actually for me longer lasting. Like I have this sensation in my body that's like a visceral reaction that kind of lingers longer than me just downing like the very quickly and just swallowing.
Hmm.
So I feel like that has changed something for me. I just wanted to share that because what you said about the Hershey bar, and there's a huge difference in how we can enjoy something, and it's actually more rewarding and longer lasting.
And it actually could be potentially more on the healthy side for you if you look at the quality of the product that you're eating. Hershey is like one of the most terrible kinds of things to put in your body. I don't even know whether it should be classified as
As
food.
food, right? It's not.
So, but if you have like an organic dark chocolate, look at the ingredients on some of these high quality companies, right? There may be two or three ingredients, and
Mm-hmm.
then look at that and compare that to the ingredients in any other kind of chocolate. We're picking on Hershey here, but there are a lot of, companies like Hershey's that, you see in the checkout aisle of the grocery store. Compare the ingredients on both sides. And
Mm-hmm.
then you can just use that as a gauge of, is this going to be bad for me or not? I think the number of ingredients will speak to the answer.
I found a bar called Human, I think it is. Have you
Oh
seen that at
yeah.
Whole Foods?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it. The mint crunchy one.
Yeah.
so,
I think
so
that's
good.
one thing that I crunched up on my berries one time
Mm,
last week, actually.
I can imagine that. That sounds so good. Okay. Let's see. I think where am I? Three things that you love or you do to cause joy on purpose for yourself.
For myself.
Hmm.
Okay. Three things that I love to do.
Cause joy on
Well,
purpose.
I would say sleeping in is one.
Sounds
I
great.
did that today actually. So I said usually 7 hours usually what I like. So last night I got nine and a
Mm,
half hours. I
nice.
work so hard during the day. Sometimes it's okay to recover, so go a little extra mile. And so that's one thing, I guess. For myself, let's see, listening to music.
Mm,
I got a pair of ear pods, so sometimes I'll just listen to music. I really personally mentally respond to music a lot. I even told my kids, I said, if ever, just in trying to teach them about how to mitigate their own stress.
mm,
Everybody's different. I said, if I'm feeling stressed out or I'm really tired, um, listening to music really changes my mood pretty quickly. And so that's something that I guess as a self-compassion practice. And I haven't done this in a while because of the pandemic, but massage is another one.
mm, mhm.
I really it's always good to take some time and just do nothing and have somebody take care of you for a little bit.
Right.
One of the best massages I ever had was actually in Maui, by the way.
Lomi Lomi massage,
I don't
possibly.
know what kind it was, but me and my wife, we were on our honeymoon. So we had our honeymoon. We spent half the time in Maui, half the time in the Big Island, which was
Mm,
also awesome. And we did a couples massage. I forget whether it was in the Fairmont or Ritz or
Fairmont
one of those.
Kealani.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
that was awesome.
Mm, yeah, just the balmy air, and just being touched, and all the smells that you are not familiar with in California. Because I used to live in California, and then on Maui, it feels like a really tropical experience. It's really different,
Hmm.
getting a massage there at home or here in Maui or Hawaii. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so if you've learned a golden nugget, this is the last question. If you learned a golden nugget for success or happiness that most people don't know, what would that be?
Hmm. About myself or just in general?
In general, just something about success or happiness that you're like, oh, I'm so glad I learned that after some time, and now I can do life better. And you feel, if you were able to tell your younger self, if you just knew this.
This is something that I tell my kids all the time, and I will keep saying it until the day I die. It's such a simple thing, but I don't think we really acknowledge it all the time in the proper way. And it is that for every problem, there is always a solution. I think in life, we feel like something bad happens and we get stuck because it sucks and this is terrible and why is this happening to me? And there's no way I can fix this problem. I'm doomed. I'm going to go broke. Don't look at life that way. For every problem, there is always a solution. Don't ever give up. Don't ever accept defeat. There's always a solution. I don't know. We can think of, and maybe the solution may not feel like it's ideal for you at the moment, but in the future, you may look back and think that I'm glad that that bad thing happened to me because it really wasn't bad. And it forced me to do something that now has led me to have great success.
Mm,
For every problem, there is always a solution. And it kind of goes hand in hand with this Buddhist saying, suffering equals pain times resistance. It's a famous calculation. It's a math problem. It's not really a math problem, but it's S equals P times R. Suffering equals pain times resistance. So pain is something that we can never get rid of. There's always going to be some pain on earth, whether it's you inhaled smoke or you broke up with your boyfriend or somebody died or there's a pandemic. I mean, this is life on earth as a human. So that P is a constant. It's always going to have some value. The R, the resistance, is what we can control. We can control the
Mm,
resistance. And the resistance means how we look at things, how we interpret things, how we react to things. So, and if we can make that resistance as low as possible or zero, then we can control suffering that we experience. And suffering is what we relate to happiness and just, quality of our life. So an example is somebody, you could be driving on the road and somebody could cut you off and honk you and flick you off and curse you as you're passing by. That's the pain. Give it a value of 10. And then you could respond by getting angry too, honking them back, cursing at them, chasing them, road raging them. And that's your resistance. And you made that 100.
mm,
So 100 times 10, that's how much you're internally suffering as a result of this action. Or you could say to yourself before you did anything, maybe that guy peed his pants and he's got to rush home because he's got a meeting in 10 minutes and he's embarrassed and he can't show up with pee all over his pants, and you laugh it off because the
mm,
truth is you don't really know what happened or why the guy did that. You don't even know the guy. Who cares? He's just some
mm-hmm,
guy. So now you took that resistance from 100 and you made it zero. The pain still existed, but now the outcome is zero. Your suffering
mm.
is zero. And you made a funny joke out of it and you mind your own business and you went about your own life. So that's an example of a problem that has a solution. Every problem has a solution. You just have to sometimes look at it and think about it, look for it and find it. But there's always a way out.
And it's causing that internal peace. Imagine if everyone in this country at this time followed that.
We have a problem and there's a solution. That's probably as political as I should probably get. But
Exactly. I don't want to go there too deeply, but just saying, if we all took that advice and follow that formula, it would be a really different nation at this time. A lot more
yep.
peaceful, probably.
Just like I said, it's such complex things have such simple solutions sometimes. If all our
Awesome.
politicians meditated and ate healthy, maybe we'd have a better country.